Yesterday was DC Fandom, and there were plenty of trailers for various shows and films which were dropped. The two that I was most particularly interested in was, of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, and then the one that we're going to discuss right now, The Batman. I'm branded. He's my boy. Let's go through the trailer, break it all down. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I have been a bit concerned about The Batman, Matt Reeves' upcoming Batman movie, for a couple of reasons. Robert Pattinson, I've had my discussion about that. Although, he started off in all the kind of like vampire stuff, he is a respected actor in his field. He's done some very good movies. So I'm always willing to give the benefit of the doubt when it came to the casting. We know that Jeffrey Wright was cast as Commissioner Gordon in a race swap. We had, Zoe Kravitz take on the role as Catwoman. You can't complain too much about that. I mean, you can complain about the casting just because of who it is. But of course, even the 1966 Batman TV series had three Catwomen. One of them was Eartha Kitt, a black woman. So, that's fine as regards to that. If that's where you want to go with your movie, I haven't got a problem with that at all. I did feel from the announcements that it felt rather bloated. You had Catwoman, you've got the Riddler, you've got Penguin, you've got Falcone. So there's a lot there for an initial movie. And of course, you're trying hard not to lose your main character. We know that this is set in year 2 of Batman's run. And from a production perspective, they also announced that only 25 to 30% of the film has been shot. Before everything was shut down because of COVID. And so that's all the footage that they have to come up with a trailer. Now, that doesn't mean that this is the first 25%, 30% of the film, because when you record stuff, you can record from all different parts of the film. Day one of the film, you could be recording the final scene. So, you never know where things are going to quite fit in. So with that said, let's get into it. It starts off, if you look out the window, these are things that I like to look at. If you look out of the window, you can see a skyline. So I initially thought this might be Wayne Manor, but it's not. It looks like it's actually in the heart of Gotham City. We got a masked and goggled person covered up so you can't tell who they are, and an incapacitated guy on the floor. My initial thought when I saw this was, kind of looks very Talonish from Court of Owls. I don't think this is. I think this is actually meant to be Riddler. But that was my initial sort of feeling on that. And then the next time we see the guy, the masking tape is all around his face. He's clearly either been suffocated or was deceased before then. And then no more lies have been written on there. Okay, fair enough. It's sinister. It's good setup. It means that this villain means business. So there's no horsing around here. And there wasn't any attempt of a pun here. We then go to... Now, I don't think it's Commissioner Gordon. Now, yes, it's Jeffrey Wright, but I don't think it's Commissioner Gordon, because I had a look through the IMDb cast list, and they do have Commissioner Savage on the cast. So because this is year 2, this still might be Lieutenant Gordon. And you can clearly tell he's got Batman behind him, because everybody is focusing their attention behind Gordon. I shouldn't say Commissioner Gordon. And not on him. So something's behind him, and as we're going to see later, it is Batman. So they go to the crime scene. So I am going to assume that this is relatively early doors. He's got his hand in... I don't know if this is like a... Is this meant to be like a popcorn bag? So is it meant to... trying to pose him as if he's watching something? Not too sure about that. But yeah, they've got the forensics guys, they've got the FBI guys around them. Then we get our first proper look at Jeffrey Wright's Gordon. Yeah, I mean, he looks like Commissioner Gordon. Well, he looks like Gordon. Stop saying Commissioner. You know, he looks like Gordon. Hair, glasses, big thick tash. It's a race swapped Gordon. But I know that Jeffrey Wright is a massive lefty, but I love him as an actor. Separating church from state. I think he's a really cool guy as an actor, and I do like him in stuff that I've seen him in. All the way going back to Shaft. So I've never had too much of a problem with his casting, but we'll see how it turns out. But he looks good. Looks fine to me. We then have boots. Boots. Whose boots are these? Of course, it's Batman's boots. And then we get a shot of newspaper covering a window, I think. And then lies. Now we see this recurring name, Don. Don's done it again. Mayor Mitchell Jr. wins historic third term. King Dom. So when he says no more lies, maybe this is talking about vote rigging, fixing, something like that. And that's what his crime was. His crime was that sort of business. We've got Gordon reading out a riddle, which comes in a green envelope. I like that. I like little things like that. I like. If it's the Riddler and there's an envelope and there's a card and there's a message inside, green envelope, thank you, please. So he reads out a little riddle that's been left. Haven't a clue? Let's play a game. Just me and you. So we see these almost like hieroglyphics at the bottom there. Then we have more stuff here. Maroney, there you go, Boss Maroney. Maroney drug bust is there. So we've got the whole Maroney and Falcone probable ties in this too. Lots of blood splattered, by the way. So this was a violent crime scene that they're in. It wasn't just a suffocation. This was a violent bludgeoning of some sort. A little bit more of Gordon finishing it off. That's the card presented by the Riddler to the Batman. And then we get our first proper look at Robert Pattinson's Batman. Now, as regards to the outfit, the only major issue that I have... It's not a major issue either. But the only slight issue I have is I wish there was more defined bat ears. I wish they were slightly more defined, but that's really all I've got to say. It kind of harkens back to Bermejo. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. Bermejo, when here and Azzarello did that Batman saga. It kind of harkens back a little bit to that. A little bit to Gotham by Gaslight with the collar as well. I like the way that the cape flows into the suit. I do like that. And yeah, it's heavily armoured. But it looks, as we'll see later, there's plenty of practical movement from the suit, so it's not encompassing. And it's not going to hold him back. The eyes are very dark here, and I can't quite tell, because I think there's meant to be, a bit, but I can't quite tell if he's actually got lenses on. If he's got lenses on, that would be pretty cool. But the helmet looks fine. It's a take, and I'm okay with it. He's not built like Ben Affleck, so he's not gonna have a Ben Affleck bat suit. Robert Pattinson is pretty thin. I will say that he is pretty thin, but this suit does beef him up. But of course, the whole thing about Batman is he tuned his body as well as his mind for the job. So, it would have been nice if Pattinson actually did do a little bit of physical work as well. But yeah, look, I think these shots are good. Yeah, I don't think lenses are in. I think it's nice. I think it's clever lighting, good lighting. But I like the collar. It's practical. Like I said, it's practical. It harkens back to Bemejo and Gotham by Gaslight. I like it. Just wish it had ears on the symbol. I think that's too much to ask. I think this is Commissioner Savage here, giving a press conference probably about the mayor being killed. I think that's the mayor that's been done off. We get a little shot of a covered up. I think he's got this mask on because he's on his bike. And my mate has motorcycles, and you put this up. You put those up before you put your helmet on and stuff. He's also got, thick black makeup around the eyes, which are going to cover up any light skin coming through when he's wearing the mask. Again, I'm okay with that. I'll probably go into that a little later because there's a shot at the end. And then we get this shot of the graveyard and him driving through the graveyard. Now, we did see a production shot of this, and he is in a bat suit at in this scene, which you can't really tell from there. So, but in this one, he's not. So, yeah, it looks like there's multiple motorbike scenes. At least 2 or 3 probably motorbike scenes where he's in and out. This is arriving back in the Batcave. You can see it's early doors. Things haven't really taken too much shape. The tech's here, some of the tech's here, but it's all a bit sparse at the moment and a bit empty. We hear the voice of Andy Serkis, who's playing Alfred in this. I like the casting of that. I think Andy Serkis is very, very kind of eccentric person. And I quite like the idea of a slightly more eccentric Alfred, potentially. Or quirky Alfred, or, something behind Alfred. A little bit more than just yes sir, no sir, Master Bruce. Because there's lots of good history behind the character of Alfred Pennyworth, by the way. And I love the staircase. I do really love the staircase, which I imagine leads up into the manor. I think that looks really, really cool indeed. So, yeah, we get a little bit of makeup taken off. Then we get our first look at Bruce Wayne. Here, there's a panic scene. A car drives through a crowd. He saves a kid from getting knocked over. The car crashes, and then out of the car... Now, this is the funeral of... That actually looks like him, though. That actually looks like him. I don't know. But I think this is meant to be the funeral for the mayor. And then this person has been rigged up with bombs, what looks like, bombs, and he's got a phone strapped onto his hand as well, and there's graffiti all over, that's, I can't quite work out what it's meant to say. But I don't think this is going to end well for this guy. I think he might go to pieces. But he's got something strapped on his chest, and it says, "To the Batman." Again, so the Riddler wants to play a game, and then we get a look at Pattinson's Bruce Wayne. Fine. I will say that some people have compared this to Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3 in his emo phase. Oh no, once you see the image, it's very difficult to get rid of them. But I think it looks fine. I think it looks absolutely fine. A little thin. I will say a little thin. Yeah, very thin. We see our first look at Selena Kyle. She's not Catwoman yet. This is early doors. She's doing some safe cracking. So things haven't quite manifested. She's not Catwoman. Falcone? Maybe? Not too sure. Maybe Falcone. here. Then we get a quick little look at a gang. There's little Easter eggs here in this one. Obviously, we've got a Joker Easter egg here. Two-Face Easter egg here. This guy's got half and half. Azrael Easter egg here for this guy. So there's Easter eggs in this gang about various villains in the Rogue Gallery for Batman. I quite like that. Then we get a scene where there is a scuffle going on at Police HQ with Batman and the police, and he's been dragged off. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but Gordon kind of gets control of the situation. So he's kind of working with the police, but there's clearly tension there. I'm not sure. I think it doesn't look like Patterson. I think that's could potentially be Zoe Kravitz again. I'm not too sure on that one. There we see again. You just see that the balaclava has these like little bits coming out, which kind of look like cat ears. Okay, fine. And then explosion at the funeral. Right, that's the guy blowing up, isn't it? So this is the guy blowing up. So Bruce clearly leaves the funeral and comes back, comes back as Batman. Then probably takes or does he have a person there? It's difficult to say if he's actually saved somebody or not. Did he save the guy from the explosion? Ooh, okay, up in arms there. Then we've got this guy here. Who do you think you are? This person's, you can't see, but somebody off camera. Here we go. He's recording it on a mobile phone. Who are you? Sort of business. So he goes to Batman, and Batman just beats the living crap out of him. And then when he falls, goes down and gives him another couple of boosh smacks. They look horrified. That's a great look. It's a great look on that guy's face. He just looks horrified at the guy having the shit beaten out of it. And then he just says, vengeance. Now, when I initially heard this trailer and heard him say that, I was like, God, come on, where's the vengeance? And then I saw it again a couple of times and I was like, actually, do you know something? This is all right. And I'll tell you why I think it's all right. Because when the guy goes to him and he beats the shit out of him, and then when he falls, he goes in again and clubs him. Literally, like, clubs the guy. It looks like he's out of control. It looks like he's out of control. It looks like he's unhinged. But when he says, vengeance, the voice says he's very much in control. It's calm. It's in control. So, the whole beating up was clearly to freak them out. Not him losing control, but to freak the other people out. We then get a quick little look at the Batmobile firing up. This is a real old school Batmobile. I'd like to see a bit more of it before I pass judgment. I like the concept of it. I do like the concept of it. Very much more practical. And that's fine. This is year 2. We then have him getting shot by the same gang. Look, it's the same people. Is that a katana? That looks like a katana Easter egg there. So he gets shot point blank in the breastplate. It seems to kind of ignite or deflect off, and he kind of cries out. And then we see him zipping up on a zip wire away. I think that's Falcone again. Then we see him rising up after beating the crap out of the other guy. And then we go into the logo with the... is it Nirvana in the background? It's kind of remixed Nirvana tune. And the logo's great. It's fine. Then we get this end bit. This is the end bit where he takes off the cowl. And he's got the eye makeup on. And some people have been harping on at that. Look, I ain't got a problem with it at all. I remember watching a scene in Batman Returns towards the end where Batman is revealing himself to Selena Kyle. And you see the scene, he's looking at her, and then it cuts to her, then it cuts back to him, gonna tear off the mask, and he's had the eye makeup removed so you can see all the white skin around. And then he pulls it off, and then there we go. So I've got no problem with this on because it's practical, it works. You know, it's for the suit. I know some people want the suspension of disbelief, but to me it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You know, he's not walking around Gotham like this going, oh my god, I'm Bruce Wayne. It's just part of the makeup, literally. It's part of the makeup of the character, and it's coming next year. So currently in production. So the trailer was fine. You know, they don't have too much to play with, 25 to 30%. I do wish, I wish to see more. Because, like I said, there are certain aspects which I could be slightly nervous about with the bloating of the cast and whatnot. But what I saw so far was fine. It looks gritty. It looks dark, as I want my Batman to be. There's no, I think it's an interesting villain if the Riddler is going to be the main villain, or there could be some curveballs along the way. But yeah, fine. Fine, no problem. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links, they're in the description box down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.